Okay, screen sharing. Okay. So let me know when you can see my screen.
We can see your screen.
Okay, that's cool. So good evening once again, everyone. So let me just do a little recap of what we did last time. So we talked about, so this is everything we are working on is all is about project management in UI UX. So this is a new module. The previous time we had like 3 modules that we talked about project management was about. And then, excuse me. So we talked about how we can also manage our projects, how we can manage our projects as designers. I also talked about collaborating with cross-functional teams. How do you collaborate with your designers, with your developers, with your engineers, even with designers as well, the marketing team, the media team, and so on and so forth. So that's basically what we did last week. So Monday rather. So today we'll be talking about So we'll be looking at preparing, working and interpreting product briefs and working with project management tools. Yeah, project management tools like Notion, Jira, Trello, Asana, and JetBrains Space. So yeah, so if you have any question, just drop it in the chat box and I will answer it at the end of the class. So yeah, let's get into it. Preparing, working, and interpreting product briefs. So what's a product brief? So I want us to pay attention as I move because it may seem as if it's like a lot of theory, but later on you see that it's quite very important you understand all these things. If you work in an organization environment, if you work in a company, work in an industry where you practice UI UX design, you need to know all these things because they really help you as you move forward. So yeah, what is a product brief? So a product brief is a short document that outlines all requirements, goals, and specifications to build and launch a product. Now, what we're talking about here is a digital product because there are different kinds of. A product brief is simply that document that helps you, that gives you a guidelines, what are the things I need to do, what are the things I need to achieve to be able to carry out this plan, to create this product. Now, it defines a product goals, attributes, and overall direction that outlines requirements and key product information that the product team needs to build a new feature or a product. So it doesn't contain all the answers, but it's a plan to get the answers. So it doesn't contain all the answers, but it's the plan to get the answer. So it's simply that document that helps you to lay down all the things I need to do to build this product. Take for instance, let's take a product like Kuda Bank or PiggyVest or CarryWise. I like using them very often. I like using those examples. So because when those products were coming up, when we were working on bringing these products to life, each of them had a product brief. They had a product brief. Okay, what are the guidelines we need to follow? What are the requirements we need? What are the direction we need to follow? Now, this product brief anchors it encompasses every one of them. Now, as I said, it doesn't contain all the answers, but it's the plan to get the answers. Now, what are the elements of a product brief? So the element of the product brief, has the product's purpose and goals. It outlines the features of the product, and you also have a product timeline. So if you're planning on launching the product, I don't know if any of us here have heard about hackathons. So people usually work on this creating products. They usually come from hackathons. Some come from just someone just innovating and all. But some people come from hackathons where they brainstorm, they think about, okay, how do we do this product this way? And most of them are given a short timeline. So as a designer working on a product, you'll be giving timelines and all required because the product has its own timeline. Like there was a time even currently we are working on a product and my company is working on a product and they were given a particular timeline. So that timeline was given, but one thing you should know, that timeline is not just for design alone. That timeline, inside that timeline, you have one for design, you have for development, you have for testing as well. You do alpha testing, you do beta testing. So that timeline is a very, very important part of a product brief. Without like, okay, this is when this product should launch. So there's no timeline in the product brief. It's not a product brief. Same thing, you have the feature of the product and the purpose of the product. What are the things you want that product to achieve? Every product has its own purpose. So it's not like as if you're just designing one thing and you don't know why you're designing that, or you're just designing that just because you want to do something, or you want to put something out there, or you just want to do something. So the purpose of a product must be properly stated. Why the Kuda Bank built Kuda Bank, the application, is because they want to digitalize banking system. They want to do all that. Now, I think they're even the first, if not even the first, like they're a microfinance bank, yeah, but they're like one of the first standardized digital banks that we know of. So there's a purpose for each of those things. They are doing those things because they have a purpose for doing that thing, and they have a goal they want to achieve. So that's why every product must have a product brief that states the purpose of that product and the goals that product is meant to achieve. Then let's go next to how do you create a product brief? How do you create a product brief? The first thing is to identify your problem. So first identify the problem. Okay, what are we trying to solve here? Like you're carrying out design thinking, you're doing something, but it's just telling you that, okay, what is the problem we're trying to solve? Outline that problem, identify that problem, then carry out a research. Carry out a research, or it is user research, carry it out. Try and understand, okay, who are the people in this industry that are reading this thing? Who are the people in this space that are reading this thing? How are they doing it? Now, if they're doing it this way, now what do these users think about them? That's why research is very, very important and very key to the success of any product. You get, so researching saves a lot of time because you already know what people are thinking already. Many people, if you go on Play Store, you see the video comments about different apps. You go on Twitter, you see people commenting, say, they'll tag this company, tag this application that you guys, your stuff is just trash. That's because those people, these are what users are feeling, these are what users are seeing in these things. And from there, you can easily iterate on your designs and easily work things out. The next thing is gather user insights and requirements. So from the research you carried out, you gather user insights. What are the pain points of these users? What do they want to perform? What is their main goal for trying to test this application? What do they expect to see? So you gather those user insights and requirements. Then you establish your questions, because surely you can't know everything at the beginning. Like, I'm working on a current product where right now I actually don't know where it's coming or where it's going, because we keep having more questions that come up as we work on this product. So there will always be questions that will come out. You should be able to establish those questions, then try and say how you can channel those questions to have a definite answer. Not every one of them will have an answer. I can assure you, they can't get the answer for everything. What you just have to do is at times just put things out there and just see how it works. So you establish your questions, then try to find that answer. If you can't find the answer, try and see how you can work things out. Then also name your product. Give your product a name, then share and revise. So as now the person who prepares these product briefs, it can either be product managers, it can be business analysts. It all depends on how the company is structured. So once the product manager has provided the product brief, then he shares with its major shareholders in the company. So sorry, major stakeholders, not shareholders. I think in last we explained who shareholders was. Where there are people like who have a stakeholders, who have a stake in the business, in that product. So you share with the stakeholders. Now, as a product manager who is doing this thing, you can share it with your designer, you can share it with the developer. Now, one thing you should also know as well is that part of the job that a product manager does, also a product designer does that as well. A designer, a UI designer who is a product designer does that as well. So the product designers assist the product manager in gathering this user insight and requirements. He helps him to identify the problem, carries out research and all these things. So that's why you can see the interlap between product management and product design. So that's why one of my colleagues said initially, he said something, he said product managers and product designers are actually almost do the same thing. The only difference is just that product designers design, product managers don't. And product managers have more insights. They have more understanding of how product management works. So even as a designer, you need to have understanding of how does product management work, because it's really help you and you understand some little things. As a product designer, you have so one thing I always tell people is that don't just see this product design as just like a skill you're trying to learn. See it as a real job. Like for me right now, I have to be like really, I have to listen to news. I don't listen to news on a normal day, but you have to listen to business news, listen to news that what are the things that are going on, what are the things that affect businesses. All these things you need to understand how they work. And that's what product management people do. That's what basically they listen to stories from here and there. They try to understand, okay, what's going on and how can we better save ourselves from much hassle coming from either the environment or from the carry out SWOT analysis and all those things. So that's basically it. Then next we have forms of product briefs. So there are different kind of product briefs you can have. Yeah, we can have the product requirements documents, we can have the feature requirement documents, functional requirement documents, and business requirement documents. So in some places, some people use feature requirement documents, some use functional requirement documents. So FRDs, both of them, some people use feature requirement documents, some does use functional requirement documents, but both exist actually. So let's go to product requirement documents. Now, what's a PRD? So a PRD is sorry, that's a typography error. So it is used in product development process to communicate what capabilities must be included in the product release to development and the testing teams. So a PRD does simply tell us, okay, this is what this app should be able to do. This is what this product should be able to do. So your product is not really limited to an app. It can be a web app. It's not really limited to a mobile app. It can be a web app. It can be it can be a website as well. So a PRD is basically a document that tells us, okay, this is how this product should work. Now, for Kuda Bank, if I was to give an illustration of how a PRD, how their PRD was, they will say, okay, the user should be able to take overdrafts. I'm saying what I've seen overdrafts in Kuda's application. The user must be able to see or view all transactions. The user must be able to do this. The user must be able to do that. So a PRD just simply tells us, okay, this is what this product should be able to do. So this document is typically used more in waterfall environments where products definition, design, and delivery happen sequentially, but may be used in agile setting as well. It's also used in agile setting as well. So the PRD will contain everything that must be included in a release to be considered complete, serving as a guide for subsequent documents and release processes. So that's what a PRD do. So a PRD is just a document to illustrate, okay, this is what this product should do, and this is what this product should not do. So that's why from that, you know the scope of where you're going and how far you should go in doing these things. So what is a sample of a PRD? You can see the kind of user story questions. So the ability of user to open an account using email and password. So ability of user to request for a loan, ability of user to view transaction history, ability of user to pay electricity bills. So from all this, there are still more, but from all this, you can see that, okay, this is what we are saying that this product should be able to do. The product should be able to allow users open an account using their email and password. So the product should be able to allow people to request for a loan. The product should allow people to be able to view transaction history and should be able to allow users to pay electricity bills. So basically, the PRD just tells us, okay, this is what this product should do. So let's move on. So what we call feature requirement documents. So it's not too popular, but sometimes it can be created when a feature needs to be added to an existing product. So let's take, for instance, now, if you remember, I started using a WhatsApp in 2016, if I'm correct. So like from 2016 till now, I can really say that WhatsApp has really improved a lot. You can see that if you check it before, you see that there's some differences in how the app works. The difference in how the app works. Same thing as other product as well. I was watching a video from back in 2020, and I saw that, okay, wow, because in that video we used the Google Meet. So like a recording course, we used the Google Meet, and checking Google Meet of now and checking Google Meet of that time, I can start, yeah, there are a lot of changes that happen. So that feature, when you want a new feature to be implemented, you put it in the feature requirement document, and that is how but it is being used when a new feature is to be added to that. So it includes a list of features that together makes a product. So next, we have what we call functional requirement document. So now functional requirement document is used mainly by those who are the technical people. So the business provides the requirements, and they sit down and reason it down together with those technical guys. Now, functional requirement document outlines the functions required to fulfill the business needs. Now, BRD answers the question what the business wants to do, whereas the FRD gives an answer to how it should be done. Take, for instance, this FRD, functional requirement document. An example is when the business tells maybe the developer or those who are the technical guys, tell them, okay, we want our users to be able to, we want to make it sure that when users are putting their password, they put in letters, numbers, and characters. They shouldn't just use password of only letters or of only numbers. We want them to combine these things. This is an example of what is contained in the functional requirement document. So functional requirement document is just talking about how it will work. What are the things needed for it? What are the things that, how will this thing work? How will it be done? People want to open an account. Okay, how should the person open an account? Okay, you should put in this. His password should have figures, it should have numbers, it should have letters, it should have characters, special characters. So that's basically what a functional requirement document does. So it is specified in documents to determine the intended behavior of the system. So it's simply what determines the intended behavior. How should this system behave? How should this product behave? That's what the FRD does. So it lays out the system's functionality in detail by describing what expected behavior might be realized as tasks, services, or functions. So it simply tells us, okay, how should this thing behave? How should the system behave? Or take, for instance, when I shake my phone, should my credit card flip or should it flip off? That example I said now is put in what a functional requirement document. So it is used often by the technical people who are the designers, the developers, those who understand most of how this thing works. While the stakeholders is they're just there. Let's stakeholders like the client, like the CEO, like maybe the CFO, and those who are necessary to be on that product. They just show them, okay, this is what we're thinking this product should look like. Okay, what do you think about that? Then if the stakeholders say, okay, no, let these guys just put in letters alone. So from there we can know, okay, this is what these people want, and let's do it that way. So that what is contained in the functional requirement document. So next, let's see. So example of AFRD, make use of 5 characters, including numbers, letters, and characters, special characters to set a password. User has to complete all fields before going to the next page. I'm sure you must have seen this somewhere where you're filling the form and you want to fill it in. I tell you, no, you can't continue. You have to fill that form. You have to complete that place. Then users cannot complete some transactions if you've not completed like KYC. Now, this is if you've used CUDA very well. I think before I could effectively use CUDA, it took me a while because I had to ensure that, okay, I set some things. Now, KYC is talking about know your customer. It's called know your customer, and that is talking about the things you provide for identification. It's simply to identify you. I was trying to onboard on CUDA Bank, on CUDA's app for a long time, and they were rejecting my NIN. So I had to be trying, and in between all that trying, I had a limit of transaction I could perform. That is what is contained in an in the FRD. So FRD will specify, okay, this is how this product should behave. So you can see all these things, and you can see how useful they are in real life and how they apply to different products that have been built. So an OTP should be sent to the person's email or phone number. Now you can see also from here too, the FRD will specify, okay, the OTP should it be sent to confirm only email, only phone number, or both of them. So that is always contained in FRD based on what the business needs. You get. So that is how that basically works. Then next, we have what we call business requirement documents. So a BRD describes in detail the business solution for the project as per business clients' needs and requirements. It also includes the purpose of starting the project, what business solution does it provide, and the purpose behind doing the project, its features and functionalities. So that's what a BRD basically does. Also, a BRD can contain list of things that needs to be done for this product to launch, for this product to fly. Now, you prepare a BRD first. You prepare a BRD before even start doing your PRD. Or you can even do both once at the same time. But the business requirement document tells us, okay, what are the people we are contacting for these things? Now, if you look at Coda Bank, for their, I'm just citing an example though, for the authentication and all, they might not have done it themselves. They might have used a third-party integration. Now they'll state that thing down, okay, what are the people we are working with to achieve this success, to make this thing a success? What are the third party we are bringing in to make this thing work? So that's basically what a BRD does. So a business requirement document, it states all those things that, okay, the things that this business needs for this product to fly. That what you, so then integration with third parties, then cost of product development. So that's what a business requirement document can contain. So next, we have what we call working with, we have the next module 5, working with project management tools. So we have like 5 of them. There are more actually. We have Notion, we have Jira, we have Trello, we have Asana, and we have JetBrains Space. So Notion basically is a project management tool, and it's really very effective. I think it came out recently, maybe last 2-3 years, but it's very, very effective, and it's useful. Many teams use that to manage their workspaces. We also have Jira. Now, what Jira does is that Jira helps you to manage different project management softwares. So let's take, for instance, we have Trello, we have Asana. So you can access Trello, you can access Asana all on Jira. So Jira gives that flexibility to manage all your project management tools in one platform. You also have JetBrains Space and all. So that's basically it, except if we want to go to the next, okay, let me just show you guys how these softwares look like, Jira, Trello, and Asana. I'll give you a minute. So before that, does anybody have any question, so that we can just from there? So if you have questions, please just drop your questions. So my company uses my company was using Trello before, so moved on to Asana. So basically, and they are very good. What they basically do is that they help you manage your task. So how it works is this. Now I'm a PM, and now maybe let's say someone out there is a designer. Now I'm a PM. I assign tasks to you on Trello. I assign tasks to you on Asana, on all of this, even on Notion. I assign all these things to you, even while on that platform. So once you come there, you just know, just like on WhatsApp, if someone tags you, then you see it, you just, there's a way to notify you that, yeah, you have been tagged in this group, you've been tagged somewhere else. So from there, you just go there and check. So that's the same thing that Asana, Trello, and all these project management tools do. So basically, you are assigned tasks, and once you log into the dashboard, you see, okay, this is task I've been assigned to for this week. This is that I've been tasked to for this month. And from there, you can also manage it. You can also put, okay, this is what I'm doing. You can also assign, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've done. This is what I'm here to do. So those are basically those that's basically the importance of using these things, using project management tools. And you actually need to know how to use it, because it really helps you and saves you a lot of headache from doing some so I'm coming. Okay, let me share now. Oh, so let me since I have to stop sharing from here and share on, give me a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, you can see my screen on Chrome. So this is how basically Trello looks like. So you usually refer to something as Trello board. So Trello board is simply like you might be working in an organization. The organization will have their own workspace. So you can see workspace here. So your organization will have your own workspace. This is my own workspace, personal workspace, where I can also manage my things myself. Right? But working in an organization, the organization will have their own workspaces. They will have their workspace in Trello. So Trello, Asana, Jira, and others. So what you're just basically saying is that you have workspaces where you can manage your team. So let's say I'm Flutterwave. Now Flutterwave want to manage its team. So Flutterwave has what we call a workspace here. So from there, the person in charge can assign tasks to who they want to assign tasks to. So let me create a Trello board now. You can create. Then it's telling me create board. Let's start with a template, create workspace. Now let me just create a board. So now you can see the background title. Let me give the board a title. Let's say we call it fintech. So let me call it fintech, then workspace, then create. So once you create a board, now look at it. Now the fun part of this is that you can move things from one part to another. So let's say I want to add list title, fintech. Okay, let's say loans, or let's say payments. Add to list. So you can see. So that's payment. Then add a card. Now this is the heading for this. Then enter a title for this card. So in payment, I want to do transfer. I want to do what else? I want to pay bills. What else? So now this is what you can see all these things. So this you can create a to-do list. You can change this thing to do. You can also change that to doing. You can change that to done. So this is how basically people manage their businesses, their organization. They manage all these things on these project management tools, and you can also add new members. So if you want to add new, I'm sure it will be premium though, but you want to add new members, now you can manage those members on this platform. So if we have 5 designers that are working on the project together, maybe as a lead designer, I can assign a task to this. Okay, this guy, your task is user flow. This guy, your task is create an information architecture. Guy, your task is to create low-fi designs. So from there, you can see, and you can also manage those things yourself. So now you can also tag someone, but I don't think I'll be able to do that because I'm the only person here. So you can create new board. Then let's say I want to tag somebody. So now this is a task. So let me cancel that. This is a task. These are tasks. This is the title of the to do. This is a task. If I click on this, I can assign it to somebody, right? So I can assign it to somebody. I can write the comments and tag that person at, but no one is actually here. So that's why it won't. So you can also add members to a card, to the card, add members to that task. So that's basically how you can do that. You can also add comments. Let's say on that task, you want to talk to somebody about that particular thing. You can do all that. So that's basically how Trello works. And it's very, very interesting because you can actually manage everyone on a single platform. So let's try, okay, this is Jira. So from Jira here, so now Atlassian, Atlassian is like a parent name for Jira. We have Jira, you have Confluence too is also like a management tool as well. But Atlassian is like the parent's name that houses for both of them. So from Atlassian, this is same thing as Jira. You can also manage your Trello body. See, you can switch from Trello to this place. So assuming I have other accounts, maybe like from Asana, from JetBrains and all that, you will see them here. Basically, you see them here. You can say, okay, switch to this particular. So let's try and switch. It asked me to log in, and it just log in, and so it asked me to log in into Trello. So basically, that's how it works. Okay, so this is my company's email, and this is so. So you can see it's on that same platform. It took me to this place, the same place where we were, even though I was using Trello separately on its Trello site. So you can see that Jira links different project management tools together to help you manage everything in one place. So I can also go back, and I'll go back to Jira. So that's basically how Trello works. So let's check Asana. So this is basically Asana. This is Asana, but that's how Asana looks like, the logo. That's a private repository. So let's see how Asana looks like. Asana is also very interesting. You get to assign, oh, this is my platform. Anyways, so this is basically how Asana looks like. I have to go and the only account I have is company account. But anyway, Asana. But anyway, that's basically how Asana looks like. So you can, I'll just show you briefly. So you can see my task, you can see the inbox, you can see portfolio, you can see goals and all that. So you can just try it out and it's very interesting. So next we have I think the next one should be JetBrains. Right. I'm hoping you guys will still have a workspace, a workshop session on that. So I won't dwell too much on it. So JetBrains as well. JetBrains space. So try for free. So Notion is actually very interesting. Notion is actually like a use my email, like a multi-platform. Sorry, what is happening? So they're not accepting email. So probably should just try it out. I'm able to go into that now. But Notion is actually very interesting. It's a multi-platform because people use that as even designers use that to create portfolio for their portfolios. Let's check out Notion. So log into Notion. So you can view all. Sorry. Just go on, let me log into my account. So Notion is a very, very interesting tool. So that was integration. Sorry. So from here, you can manage your your projects from here. You can see a lot of things. This one is very, very interesting, and it might seem overwhelming at first, but I think it's a very, very good. And there's also a guide here to teach you on how to use it. It's very, very interesting. Like designers use Notion to create portfolios as well. So you have quick notes, you have personal home, you have task list. You can use to manage all of your tasks. Now look at say to do. This is a task list. It's to do create a new task list. Let's say task is to buy a to buy. So let's say to cook lunch. Sorry, to cook lunch. Then to cook lunch. So what are the things you need to do to cook a lunch? To buy necessary commodities and all that. So it's almost the same thing as it's almost the same thing as Trello, but each of them are really interesting because they really help you manage your tasks, and they're very, very efficient. So I think that will be all for now. So let me know if anybody has any question. Sorry, can anybody hear me? I hope I've not been talking to the air since. Okay, that's cool.
No,
So does anyone
sure,
have
we
any
can hear
question?
you.
Okay. So does anyone have any question?
So guys, if you have a question, start dropping your questions in the chat so that I will pick it up from there and answer. Okay, so guys, we need your questions. So let's say in the next 5 minutes, if we don't get questions, we'll wrap up. But then if you understood what he has taught, say you understand, drop your understand in the chat room.
Okay, if you have a question, just type it in the chat box.
Or raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one question.
Okay, how do you prepare a brief? So basically, okay, maybe I should just share my screen to that part again so that you can just. Let me know when you can see my screen. So I hope you can see my screen. So
Yes, you can.
yeah. So as I said, we have different forms of product brief. So depending on what you are, which one you are trying to create. So now, if you're talking about just creating a product brief, so this is just talking in large scale on how you can like work on all of them. One, identify your problem, identify the problem you're trying to solve. So from there, you can try from identify that problem. You can try and even create a product, a PRD, a product requirement document. Product requirement document tells you how the platform should work. It tells you, okay, what should this thing be able to do? Now, once you identify that problem, okay, so one's problem is that he cannot transfer, he needs a platform. That's why it's very important to carry research. You get user stories, you get users insights on what they're trying to, on what they're facing, their pain points. Now, once you identify that problem, you talk about, you carry out research, you identify that problem. Okay, this person wants to be able to do this thing, this person wants to be able to do that thing. Then from there, you start creating your PRD. When you start creating, okay, this is document, you start creating a document that, okay, this is how this platform should work. So basically, it's at the point of doing all these things that you can identify your problem, you carry out research. Then from that research, you gather your user requirements and the insights you gather from there. Then establish your questions, then know your product and share and revise. So it depends on the kind of brief, the kind of stage you are in working out these things. So I hope you, okay, like what kind of questions? So now the question, like I said, now the truth is you can never have a finished product. You can't have a finished, I just give an instance of WhatsApp. That WhatsApp, like 6 years ago or 7 years ago, is not the same as it is now. So the kind of question you'll be asking that, okay, like I always ask questions. For me, I'm a person who always asks questions. I'm not satisfied with just working on this thing. But the point is, the kind of questions you'll be asking is like functional questions, like business questions. So like I may be asking this question now and I will say, okay, I'm working on this thing, and how should this company benefit from this thing? Now, your main purpose as a designer, one of the main, even despite the fact that you are empathizing with users and you want things to go the easy way, you want the users to be able to do these things seamlessly. You also need to generate revenue for your company. You need to generate revenue for the business you're working for. Now, that kind of question may arise, and someone will say, "Ah, well, wait, if we do this thing this way, won't, like when Zoom came out, Zoom came out in 2020, and as at that time, I think Zoom was free. I may be wrong, I don't know, but I think I used Zoom at one point in time, and Zoom was free. But getting now to 2021, 2022, I'm seeing that Zoom a kind of conflict, or let's just launch. After launch, you might find out ways towards revenue. So those are the kind of questions that will come up. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. Yeah. So in a product creation process, when does a brief come up, at the ideation process or after? Okay, now this is a very, very good question. Now, these product briefs are prepared by some specific people. You can't see someone maybe like a finance officer going to prepare this kind of brief. So now those prepare this kind of briefs, I think I mentioned earlier, you have the product managers, you have the, like, a product designer can assist in creating this brief. It can prepare the brief and can also assist in preparing the brief, but it's not his or her major role. Their role is just to assist to understand, okay, this is what and how. They should also guide the product manager on how those things will work. So now at the addition phase, you must have created, before your addition phase, must have created that product document. Now, it all depends. I know what I said. I said this the first thing to do is to identify your problem. So from identifying that problem, you start creating that brief. it can be before or can even be during. But commonly is during that process. So you put your head together, okay, how should this thing work? How should what we are working on, how should it come out? Now, identify the problem first. What should this product be able to do? Identify the problem, then start brainstorming on how to make this thing work, on how this thing can be well presented. So now there's a brainstorming session, there's an ideation session. Sometimes they mean the same thing, but brainstorming is simply, for me, is like when people just gather together and then you're trying to come up with, okay, how can this thing work? What is the best way to present this thing? You get? So now, in creating this product, you have to have an ideation session, and that's where the issue of agile and waterfall comes in. You get? So a waterfall, I mentioned this in last class, the person can just come out and just design something of his own mind. You go into your house, go to your room, lock yourself, and start working. But for agile method, you guys have to come together, brainstorm ideas. You get? Now, the PRD may be created at that instant or even before that time. So your job as a designer during that period is to ideate. Now, your ideation process is to see how you can transform these PRDs into what? Into concepts, wireframe concepts, into solutions. Now, it is during research that you prepare your PRD. You carry out so it's come before. You carry out your research, you identify the problem, you gather user insights. When you gather all those things help you. That's when people use all these sticky notes, they put all these things, they do mind mapping and all these things to ensure that, okay, this is what we are actually planning for. So from there, they draft out the PRD, and from the PRD, you start translating, as a designer, start translating that PRD using ideation into wireframe concepts. I'm sure you must have heard of Crazy 8 before. For those who have taken maybe Google ES course or something, you must have heard of Crazy 8. So from there, you start that PRD, you start having concepts, sketch concepts of how you want this particular platform to be. And it's such a beautiful thing because as a designer, you get to determine what person someone will see. They don't want to determine, okay, how should this product look like? So it's actually a very, very wonderful thing. So I hope you understand, Olamide, Olabode. If I answer the question, let me know. If I didn't, let me know as well, so that I can know how to answer it better. And also, is there any other question? Anybody can also drop as well. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, guys, any other question before we round up for tonight? So if there are no other questions, at least let us know. Drop it in the comment section. Say yes, you understand, or no, you didn't understand. So that we have 2 minutes. Just drop whichever one you want to drop. Let's know where we're moving from here. Okay, I think we have about 33 people on this call. So at least we need answers from about 10 of you. Okay. Olabi, you get the hang of it. It's a gradual process.
Yeah, it's like not. I understand. Like it's not something you can just grab. It's something that it takes like to start learning and all. So it's a process. Actually, it's a process. You start approaching it little by little, and you get the hang of it. So, but you get more experience when you work in an organization. You get the hang of it. And even as a client, even when a client gives you a product as well, the client will just provide you, okay, the client will just say, designer, yeah, I have a project for you. Okay, this is what I want my project to do. I want my platform to be able to send money, to do this. The person may even provide you with a product brief. And that's the important thing about knowing all these things. The person will not provide you with these product briefs. He will not provide you with that. He's a client. He doesn't understand those technical things. What he will just tell you is that this is what I want this project to be able to do. You'll be the one to start drafting. You'll be the one to start drafting user requirements, start drafting briefs, start drafting this, start drafting that, start drafting, okay, what should user be able to do? The person may just say, okay, I want my platform to be able to, I want to create a banking application. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to create a fintech application, I want to do this, so basically you're the one that have that responsibility to start drafting out these things. So that's why it's very important you understand. So it's a process, actually. It's a process. You shouldn't don't it's not like what we learn in school where you have to like cram and cram. No, it's something you understand as you go on. Okay, you said Obasa, you said you're still trying to wrap your head around the link between project management and UI UX design. Okay, now it's actually very simple. So now, as a product working in as a UI UX designer, you have some roles you have to perform. I said last that as a designer, you wear many hats because you don't only work as a designer, you don't just design alone. Like for me, there are times when in a whole day I might not even design. It may just be meetings, it may just be like handling one session to another, doing this, doing that. So not your work is not just to design. That's why I always tell people, don't look at it as just a skill, look at it as a real job. There are people that work in Microsoft, work in Google, work in Meta because of these things, work in Spotify, work in Netflix because of just what you are trying to learn right now. You started from somewhere. So don't look at it as a real job, put real commitment to it. You understand? So now working, like linking project management and UI design is simply that you do a lot of management roles. You do a lot of things. You have to you manage your project yourself. Now working in a company where you have to report back to people, you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to assign tasks. Yes. There are times you have to assign tasks to people. Okay, developers, I need to provide this thing for me, do this for me. So there are times that even as a product designer, you have to be on some major decisions. Like a project manager is responsible for drafting these briefs, is responsible for doing all these things. But you as a designer, you also assist, or you can also do that thing that project manager is doing. It's only that you have little understanding compared to what the project manager has. But you also are what's carrying out that task as well. So I hope you understand. So you are basically, there's an interlap between both of them. The interlap between where you have to do all these things, you have to understand. So product manager as well, they have to understand how to do all these things, how to create wireframes, how to gather user insights, how to do all these things. So it's basically very, very important for you as a designer to understand how to manage projects, how to work on projects, how to work with teams. So it's very, very important. So I hope I answered your question, but you get the hang of it. It's not a one-day thing. So as you progress in the career, you understand how it works. But basically, this is just like an intro to tell you that, okay, yeah, I have some things to do as a designer. I have to manage my project myself. Like when you're a freelancer, that's when you're working on a freelance gig, you're your own project manager. You set the time, you set the deadline, you set, okay, this is how much I'm charging for this. Project manager's job, one of their jobs is to, okay, set, just like we have, to create a plan. When is a new product to be launched and they're involved, they create a plan. After creating that plan, then they drop all those requirements that they need, the cost of development, if it's to start a sprint, how much will it cost to do that sprint? They put all these things down. So that's their job. You put a deadline as well to that task. That's you as a freelancer, you will surely manage those things. No special PM will come and tell you to do all these things. You'll be the one to manage your project yourself. You have a client, you are the designer. You'll be the one to be communicating with that client. Okay, this is how much I will charge. Okay, this is when this product will be delivered. Okay, you also call the clients. Let's review this stage. So I talked about a lot of things on Monday, where you are the designer and you have to also carry the clients along at every stage. You are the project manager of that particular product. So either it's a personal project, either it's a paid project, either it's your own just portfolio project, you still have to be the one to manage those things. So I hope I've at least to an extent. So I think that's all. Or is there any more questions?
Okay, I think the question here is no. So Olabi, you're asking if there's a WhatsApp group. Now there's no WhatsApp group. I don't know how you, Probably you saw this on WhatsApp or any of social media pages. We have a Discord channel. So you can join that by visiting our website. So Taiwo, thank you so much for tonight's class.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Learned a lot. It was a wonderful class. So guys, is there any other question? If there's no question, you can at least say thank you to Taiwo for being here tonight.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. All right. So we'll drop his LinkedIn handle. Do well to follow him and reach out if need be. Thank you. So Tara, thank you so much. We really appreciate. With that said, everybody have a lovely night rest. So good night, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
Okay, good night.